Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Galatea Strong. I'm a physical therapist who got 100% on my NPTE, and this led me to found SPT with me, which is an NPTE prep platform. If you enjoy what you see and you're studying for the NPTE, check out our courses at sptwithme.com. Now for what you're actually here for, let's talk about what is a myotome. Whenever you think of myotomes, the first thing that probably pops into your head is the term of muscle. And you're absolutely right. A myotome is specifically all the muscles in our body that happen to be innervated by one nerve root level. For example, all the muscles that have an innervation from the level of C3 are considered a myotome. All the muscles that are innervated by L5 are considered a myotome. Understand that all of our muscles are innervated by at least one nerve root level. For example, our diaphragm. Our diaphragm is innervated by the level of C3, C4, and C5. So the diaphragm is going to be divided into three different myotomes. It's going to have all those muscles that are part of C3, all those muscles that are part of C4, and all those muscles that are innervated by C5. So three different myotome groups with just the diaphragm. So I'm going to spend the rest of the video really breaking down what a myotome really is on a small scale so that you can actually picture it in your head. So this is a cross-section of our spinal cord, and you can see that the bottom is the anterior aspect while the top of the picture is the posterior aspect. The region that's boxed is essentially the region that we care about with respect to myotomes. The anterior aspect of the spinal cord is where the motor information is sent. The cell bodies are in the anterior horn, and they're going to come out and form these spinal rootlets, which are those skinny spaghetti-like strings coming out of the spinal cord, and then they're going to eventually merge to make this thicker nerve that will eventually spread throughout the rest of the body. So this thick nerve is the spinal nerve. Here's another view of that spinal nerve. In this image, you cannot see those little spaghetti rootlets, and that's because they're more central, but just understand that they're still there. Here you can see that thick spinal nerve coming out. So let's give an example of L5. The L5 nerve is going to travel throughout the body to innervate specific muscles, such as the tibialis anterior, fibularis muscles, popliteus, among others. What you have to understand is that, and I'll show you in future images, but this one nerve is going to branch out into a bunch of little nerves. It's not like this one thick nerve, L5, is just going to weave its way through a bunch of different structures. No, it's going to split off so that it can go towards different muscles. It's going to also connect to different nerves as well. So as mentioned before, the muscles such as the tibialis anterior, fibularis muscles, popliteus, etc., they are all innervated by L5. So these are considered a myotome, a group of muscles that happens to be innervated by the same spinal levels. Again, your muscles are often innervated by more than one spinal nerve. So the popliteus is also innervated by L4 as well as S1. So the popliteus will have other myotome groups with muscles that are also innervated by L4 and S1 respectively. Now, to get a little bit more of the complexity in. Again, the spinal L5 nerve is going to branch out and connect to other nerves. It's going to branch out into skinnier nerves, and they're going to make their way through a bunch of different locations to their respective destinations, aka their respective muscles. So the L5 nerve is going to branch out into specific nerves like the common peroneal nerve, the tibial nerve, etc. You just have to understand that all of these specific nerves have an origination from L5. There could be components from L4, components from L3, etc. But one of the components is L5, and for that reason, every single one of those muscles that happens to be innervated by L5, even if it's just one of the innervations, it will be part of the L5 myotome. Most muscles, as a result, are going to have more than one myotome. It's not just one thick L5 running through all these muscles. No, it's a combination of L5 and L3 and L4, etc., S1. But any muscle that has L5 innervation will be part of the L5 myotome. Here's a depiction of how crazy these nerves can get. Lumbar plexus, brachial plexus, same idea. This is a picture of the lumbar plexus though. So a single nerve, L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, S1, etc. These are going to come out as their thick spinal nerves, but you can see that they branch out and they're going to combine into more nerves, different names of nerves, okay? So as it continues to branch out and go to a bunch of different pathways, what makes these distal peripheral nerves up is ultimately the spinal nerves that come out of the spinal cord. They all come from somewhere. It just gets confusing along the way because there's so many connections all over the place. If you enjoy material being taught this way, check out our courses at sptwithme.com when you're studying for the NPTE. Check out these references for more information.